Salam and students from Jordan University College. And the motion is parental interference in children's choice of marital partner is the major factor contributing to the marriage failure in Africa today. So some of you came up early. Castor had a really good definition and elaboration of this topic. So like how we did in the very first debate, it's going to be the same. The rules are the same. So each main speaker will have 3 minutes of presentations. And we'll have 6 minutes from each side to ask questions and answers. And then we'll have other two members of the floor, one opposing and one proposing. So without wasting time, I would like to welcome the first main speaker from proposing side, University of Dar es Salaam, please.
Thank you, Chairperson, Secretary, proposers, plus the House at large. Good afternoon. My name is Karen Kate. I'm from University of Dar es Salaam, but as I have stood here, I have stood as a proposer as far as our motion is concerned. Our motion states that parental interference in children's choice of marital partner is a major factor contributing to the failure of marriage today in Africa. And as I have told you that we are going to propose the motion, because we are talking with a lot of emotion. We know very well how parents have been interacting our families, how parents have been leading to family failure. Why has this been happening? This is because parents during the past days, they used to interact with families, and through their interactions, they used to build families, okay? But today, because we are in different world, compared to the world that our parents lived, actually, automatically it leads to the failure of our families. This is because our parents, they are still conserving their norms and values. Yet for us, since we are in another contemporary society, we are having our own norms and values from the Western culture. So that means we are going to propose the motion through various views that we are going to give. Myself, I'm going to give 2 views that will help me to explain to you very well how these parents' interference in our marriages, in choosing our partners, has led to the failure of marriage. But even before giving my views, let's get to know, when we are talking of a parent, who is a parent, by the way? To me, a parent is anyone who provides something to you that's important.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, let me now go straight away to my viewers. First of all, as I have said, that due to conservatism of our parents, our families, they have been perishing. What am I trying to mean? Parents, they have been conserving their norms and values. For example, you take an example of today's parents. They have their own values of the way of dressing. So if maybe you have chosen your pattern, like you choose me, like the way I'm dressing right now, you take me to your family. Any of the parents may say no to me because of the way I've dressed, but for them they want maybe their own way of dressing. Another point, it's like variation in culture. Our parents, they have got their own cultures. They have different cultures. For example, you take a higher family. Okay, families from higher, actually, parents from higher, always they demand, if it's a man or a woman, from a higher tribe. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, leaders of this debate competition. I was very excited to see that a lady was defending Western culture. That is so amazing. The logic is simple. Let's ask the question. Is it true that parents are interfering in the current Africa? The answer is simple, that parents are not interfering in the children in the selection of partners. If they're not interfering, the answer is simple. Then we cannot blame parents due to failure of marriage. Blaming parents while they're not involved in the selection, it is like you're creating the grave that will never be forgiven. Now, let me go direct to review the background of marriage in Africa. At those days, as has been said, in Africa, marriage was not just a union between two people. It was a union between a family and another family, one clan and another clan. So parents were there critically to supervise from the beginning of the process towards the end of the marriage. But currently, children are not allowing their parents to interfere in the process of marital partner. They are much no, and this is due to globalization. So thinking that Western culture leads to parental interference, we are digging our own grave. Let me quote one of the researcher in Togo, Makers Dominic, in his title, Freedom of Partner Choice in Togo. He said that in Togo, parents have no opportunity to interfere with the children, but what they do is just to give out their opinion, to give out their advice. And I think that the parents to give out advice to their children, it is something normal and something common. And also, I have a research which was done by Peter Driller at Voice Family Law, Parental in South Africa. Himself, he said that top 10 reasons of failure of marriage in Africa, one of them is failure of expectations. Most of female, once they want to engage in marriage, they have a lot of expectations. So once the expectations fail, then it leads to misunderstanding, hence leads to failure of marriage. Also, I quoted one of the Gando report in January 30, 2009. They wrote about Thank you. They wrote about reasons for the failure of marriage in the world, and nowhere they wrote about parental interference. But according to this report, they said that lack of communication among two couples is the major factor contributing to marriage failure in Africa. Hence, we can conclude by saying that marriage in Africa is not influenced by parents, but it's influenced by couples themselves, because parents have an opportunity to interfere with the children. But in relationship that, if you say that Africa today has changed their culture from values which were practiced by our grandfathers and our grandmothers. For instance, currently, we had a presentation from Mr. Katururu. He said that Africa currently, nowadays we have a culture of boyfriend and girlfriend culture. This was not a culture of Africans, but it's the culture of Western. So copying this culture, it is a disaster towards marriage success. That's why you can see that most of marriage in Africa are failing, and it is the behavior of Africans that when somebody do a mistake, try to. Time's up. Okay, thank you very much.
Good afternoon, this is Godfrey Winston from UDSM, Sociology Department. I will start off straight away, and I have 3 points. The first point is that, the first view is that parental wealth status, the second is on crossing boundaries of communication, and the third is the shift of paradigms, or paradigm shift. Starting away from the parental wealth status. The parents interfere marriage or relationships of their children in a way that they prefer. For instance, the wealthier families prefer marrying in wealthier families, the fellow wealthier families. So they advise the child that you should not bring a poor person in this room or in this family. And therefore, they bring up breakups, since that the boy or the girl forces to bring up a rich boy or rich girl who they don't match with in behaviors. The second one is crossing boundaries of communication, and this is in a way that parents interfere relationships in such a way that the parent leaves his home, going to this other partner's home or family, and tells that it creates illusions of conflicts, whereby he says, for instance, your child is not bearing any kid. That is infertility, which is normal, because infertility is seen. And also, he sees maybe hygiene it does not clean the house, but which is not true. You find these people are in two relationships that are different from what the parent is presenting. So this crossing boundaries of communication creates conflicts and it makes the other family also to intervene and say, my daughter, leave this home and come back to our house. The other one is paradigm shift, whereby this is the change and generations.
1 minute.
Thank you. The change of generation in a way that we have seen the past generations, and these generations were used in such a way that to get a child or to get a wife, you have to know the historical background of his culture or her culture. But take this way. I have a girlfriend and I don't know his origin or her origin. This will bring up knowing the origin, and they preferred having the same community or the same tribe, which will bring tribalism, something which is of great impact in the society. And this brings separation in a way that if they are different in tribes, the parents will not accept, and they will ensure that they make any efforts to ensure that these two people separate. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good afternoon. I'm very happy to oppose the motion. I'll go straight to the point that there are many reasons out of the parental interference on children's choice for marital partners. It is very irresponsible to claim that parents are the main reason for your marriage to break up. For me, I'll explain the following reasons which results in two marriage failures in Africa today. Mind, in Africa today, the parental interference, if it is, then it is not as it was before. My first point is globalization. Globalization has affected much the marriages in Africa. The marriage couples have found themselves to be much interested and paying more attention to social media and social networks while paying less attention to their marriages. Now, may I tell you, if you are not interested to stay with your wife, enjoying sharing about marriage affairs, then you feel uncomfortable to be close to your husband or wife, and you allow your husband to stay apart so that you enjoy the chattings and many things through the effects of globalization. My second point is infidelity. No one can endure the pain of being cheated. Most of marriages in Africa are failing because of this reason. Once the married couple involve themselves into cheating, then the mistrust between them will result into frequent fighting. And if it is frequent fighting, then the very simple mistake will mark the end of their marriage. So it is very irresponsible to consider the parental interference as the main reason for the marriage failures in Africa today.
1 minute left.
Okay, my last point is financial problems. Money itself is not the problem, but the problem is the marriage life in poverty. The marriage life in poverty is the most stressful and unhappy life. No one is intending to live an unhappy life after he or she has attained the marriage. And this is very particular when the married couples try to live the life standard which is beyond their limits. Now the fightings among them may be the one reason of their marriage breakup. Hence, I conclude that the parental interference in children's choice for marital partners in today's Africa is not the main reason, but we should consider those as I have mentioned. Thank you.
Dar es Salaam French Department protocols observed. I'd like to propose the motion by going direct to the point. The first point that's cementing the topic of the discussion today, the first one is matrix of expectation. in the matrix of expectation, here we observe that between the parents and the youth, they have different expectations. We know that parents are very conservative, and this is very shown by the research of JUCO in his book named as La Famille en Afrique Contexte, published in 1988. He analyzed what is concerned about the expectation of parents and the youth. And here we see that in the matrix of expectation, we see a different aspect. For instance, eating etiquette, dressing, calling. The way the youth, they're dressing up is quite different from the what parents think that their children should portray themselves. And this comes when a youth find a girl who is mal-dressed, who is the dressing style is unacceptable in the society, and the parents can automatically advise the son that he or she must not marry that girl, and the parent will have more power, because we know, according to the theory of moral economy, at its state that the parents, they have more decision power than the children. So the parent will decide on the part of the youth or a child, and then what next? The child will choose a partner, will not choose a partner on his or her will, but will follow the decision of his or her parent.
1 minute left.
Okay. The second point is generational differences between parents and youth that leads to conflict of interest. You know that the youth, they have their own interests actually, and the parents, although they have the interest that view that to make the child have a bright future. There is a proverb of Jean Bourdon that is un bon père de famille doit être partout, daigner coucher, près debout. That means that a parent has a sense of being closer to a child to help him making decisions, some of the useful things to his or her child. So here in this conflict, who is the winner? The winner here, we see that in the balance between the two, the child and the parent. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I am very happy to stand before you to discuss this question of failure of marriage in our society. It might be a very surprise to see we have people who reject their parents. They reject their parents to be involved in their marriage process. It is really surprising. Imagine, it is their parents who have taken care of them since their childhood. Now they don't trust their parents that they will guide them towards a successful marriage. This is very surprising. I would like to raise this the fact of experience. We have this common saying that experience is the best teacher. If I want to perform well with my studies, I will consult those who have experience, and they will guide me to a successful studies. Imagine now, parents have experience with marriage, and they are the one to guide us towards successful marriage. Now we have guys who reject parent interference. Actually, it is very, very surprising. Now I would like also to respond to what my sister has raised, the question of freedom. My dear brother and sister, it is the claim of freedom which destroys our society. Nowadays we have people who claim that I am a free being, now I want to be a gay. You see, now, okay, should we allow them because they are free? No, we are moral beings, so we should not claim freedom in the matters which actually they don't lead us into a good way. So it's a bit surprise. Okay, now what are the causes of marriage failure in our society? Africa has been a victim of Western products, and sadly, we accept Western products without knowing how they have been formed. Nowadays, they are telling us you are free being, you are free people, while themselves they have their own way of life. Imagine, The reason which make our marriage, African marriage, to fail is because we have decided to isolate our parents. Nowadays, I meet a girl because she is beautiful. Now I say, okay, I want to marry you, girl. And tomorrow we just publish a marriage without even engaging or involving my parents. Now, those parents have been taking care of me. Nowadays, now I am marrying a woman simply because she is beautiful.
1 minute left.
Thank you. Okay, I would like to make a kind of conclusion. Let us be honest. Let us be honest. Our parents are the only one to guide us toward a successful marriage. We should not reject them. So, and if we want to solve problems, we must be honest to the roots of the problem. Mwalimu Nyerere once said, a society without its own culture is a slave society. Now, we as African traditional marriage, in our traditional marriage, we used to involve our parents in the process. Now, today we have guys who claim that parents should be isolated. It's really surprising. Thank you.
Thank you very much, great minds, for arguing, putting forward your points. It's time that we are going to, weigh out your points. So we are starting with proposing side, University of Dar es Salaam. You will have 6 minutes of asking questions, and JUCO will be responding to your questions. And members of the floor, please, after just this session, we'll be taking 2 of you, one proposing and one opposing. Proposing.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. I have 2 questions to the opposer side. My first question goes as follows. To you, who is a parent, by the way? Another question, it comes like this. The first speaker talked of that ladies will expect a lot, yet when we go into marriage, things are different. But we all know that moral starts from home. It begins from home. So, proposers, what causes ladies to expect a lot? Thank you, Chairperson.
It is a surprise to see a student from University of Dar es Salaam doesn't know the meaning of a parent. But anyway. In African context, parents, we include father, mother, and those who care you. I think it is clear. Then, it is true that as human beings, we have expectations. Even myself, in my studies, I have expectations. So it is a wonder also to see that a human being has no expectations in marriage. There are those girls who think critically that marriage is for creation of new society. Marriage is the creation of new generation. Those people, they have expectation that they want to build new society or new generation. But we have girls in our societies. They want to take marriage as a source of income. They want to take marriage as the source of their benefits or benefit to their families. Now, those people who have that negative attitude, negative expectations, we have so many in our societies. I am a boy. I know men of girls who follow me for their own interest, for their own expectations. So once I'm speaking here, I speak with confidence because I have evidence. I am a man. There are a lot of ladies who follow me for their own expectations, and they want me to marry them for their own expectations. So it is clear that if you don't have expectations, then you are no longer a human being. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Actually, it's not that much a question, but I'd just like to answer the previous honorable speaker. He talked about these ladies who have been coming, having their own expectations, that everyone has his or her own expectation. But I would like to tell you that expectations, they come from the family level. They come from your parents. If your parents had raised you well, maybe with that kind of education of entrepreneurship, knowing that life is this one, my dear daughter or son, there's no need for you to have much expectations. And this is because, due to the fact that we differ, parents and us. Parents, they are consecutive with their own norms and values, but we have our own kind of lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you. This question goes to the first speaker, and he says that parents advise us to marry. They give us advice, and they advise us to marry in one clan. And as earlier, Mwalimu Nyerere was fighting against tribalism. What about marrying in one clan? Does it kill tribalism or it updates tribalism? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, I did not speak about tribalism. I spoke about the traditions of those days. Family, the union between woman and man was not just only of two people. It was just one family and another family. I did not say that you must concentrate on one tribalism. I say it's just the union between one family and another family. And I added by saying that it might be one clan and another clan. I did not say about tribalism. So if you quoted me wrong, I'm sorry for that.
Questions? Okay, so we don't have any question from University of Dar es Salaam, so we are going to switch it. Then JUCO, please, questions. 6 minutes, questions.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. Actually, I have one question. Any one of them can answer this question, because I see 2 boys and 1 girl. And as I assume that one day God will bless them to have a son or a daughter. Now, I would like to ask my sister if one day she will have a son. And if your son will claim that under the question of freedom, that I am freedom, my mom, and I want to be a gay, I want to be homosexual. Okay, will you agree that you will just accept, okay, my son, just go on? Because you have articulated the question of freedom.
Thank you. According to me, if my son comes to me and asks if maybe they want to be a homosexual, I will first of all say, go ahead. Why? Because everyone has his own interests, okay? First of all, we have to understand, what's the meaning of the word marriage, right? Marriage is a union between 2 people. There is no any act that shows us that a marriage is between a man and a woman. Okay, thank you.
Reaction to what she said. Okay, I would like to react to what she has just articulated. I am very happy you are still surprised of what actually they are standing for. Now, we have a lady who claims that homosexuality is justified. She is claiming that there is no act which is written that marriage should be between a man and a woman. This is not true. So I'm not doing law, but I know. In our constitution, it is articulated that marriage should be between man and a woman. Now imagine, she is going to allow her son to be a homosexual.
Another question, a different one.
Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. One of the speaker provided a reference of 1998. And today we are talking of 2008. It's a lot of years has been passed. Now, do you think that is a current reference to use in Africa today? In addition to that, can you please give me a relevant reference that is related to the topic that prove interference of parent in the major cause? That reference should be goes with quantitative data.
Thank you. You have asked that we have to tell you the reference which goes with the current situation, right? I'm going to read to you different references. The first reference is Coming to Africa. This book, it was written by John James. It's all about how most African parents are not flexible as far as technological changes is happening in Africa. Another reference is Edward G. 2012. It's Types of Conflict and tensions between older parents and adult children. I actually have a lot of them. Let me try to answer the first question. That was the second question. You asked that he used a reference which goes back, okay? Is it really relevant? Let me tell you, my dear. When you want to know where we are today, you have to start with where we came from. We have a lot of books which we are using to discuss the social changes happening in contemporary society today. Thank you.
Timekeeper, how are we doing with time?
Okay, I would like to pose a reaction. Now we have a girl who is telling us reference. Now she is trusting reference from the book, and at the same time she is not ready to trust her parents. To me, this doesn't make sense. You just trust a book, at the same time you claim that your parents should be isolated from your marriage process. So this is another surprise. Thank you.
Now I'd like to
Good evening, everybody. Okay, my name is Magdalena Hezon from Kivunyamba, from 5 HTL. I'm here in front of you to propose a motion which states that parental interference in children's choice of marital partner is a source of factor contributing to marriage failure in Africa today. This is not true because the source of marriage failure is children themselves due to lack of respect, due to the lack of tolerance and respect in marriage. Many current marriage, there is no respect at all. People entering in marriage, especially girls, they mostly think on equality and forgetting their duties on marriage, especially to girls. They are basing on equality, forgetting that she as a woman, she as a mother, what is her duty on family? And instead, she is basing much on thinking on equality, and hence, her marriage, marriage with no knowledge of marriage. As we know, many boys and girls, current boys and girls, they are just entering in marriage without even knowing what she or he, when enter in marriage, she is supposed to do. They enter in marriage without knowing what is marriage. And this is the main cause of the storms. They don't know on how even to pass the storms in marriage. Let us take example to the previous marriages. Let us take example to our previous grandfathers and grandmothers. They are married, it was long-lived marriage because, thank you, Chairperson.
My name is Asha Singh from Muslim University of Morogoro, Faculty of Law with the Sharia, pursuing Bachelor of Law 4th year. I'll be opposing the motion which states that parental interference in children's choice of marital partner is a major factor contributing to marriage failure in Africa. This is very no to my side. But before that, I would like to remind or correct my sister who said here that there is no law in there is not any provision of law regarding that a marriage is a must to be a man and a woman Madam, it is very wrong. According to Section 9, I accept to be corrected if it is wrong. Section 9 of the Law of Marriage Act, which has been corrected or being revised edition 2002, Section 9. Marriage is a voluntary union between a man and a woman. Also, I'll be basing on the theories of criminology and penology. Criminology are issues concerning the reasons for people committing crimes. Wait, okay, people committing crimes. So here, 1 minute.
Continue 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay. Our environment has a lot of contribution to our marriage breakage, not our parents. Our parents may select us a very good partner, but the surrounding environment may lead to our failures. For instance, I may get married today with a very good person my parents have selected for me, but when calamities appear, maybe my husband falls sick or economic depression, because I don't have sabri or passion, then I may need some stuff that my husband may not be able to provide. While the partner is a very good partner for me. That's the cause of the failure of marriage. It is me and not my parent. Thank you, and sorry for this.